Just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right, you know? It's... offence is about feelings, and feelings are personal. Some people are offended by equality. So what? You know, so you can't second-guess people. If you try and please everyone, you'll please no one.
Ricky Gervais had finished with Hollywood's political scene. He confronted some of the most prominent celebrities in Hollywood and called them out directly. This British-American comedian and actor has been active in the media recently, sharing his views on woke Hollywood and his opinions about it. More importantly, Ricky harbors a deep disdain for Hollywood celebrities and influencers who promote their woke beliefs and engage in politics. Just observe how he ridicules Hollywood's woke influencers.
Hi guys, Ricky G here, wellness and beauty influencer. As a celebrity, I know all about stuff like science and politics. So trust me when I tell you who you should vote for. If you don't vote the right way, it's like a hate crime. It makes me sad and angry, and I'll leave the country, and you don't want that.
In less than 30 seconds, Ricky pretends to be a Hollywood celebrity to criticize their habit of sharing political views with their fans. Although it seems like a harmless, funny clip, Ricky's message is far from benign. He has harshly criticized these celebrities for their ignorance and manipulation. To prove he doesn't care about public opinion, Ricky even name-dropped Taylor Swift as an example of these Hollywood figures. His criticism isn't new, it's a consistent theme in his speeches, such as at the Golden Globes, where he criticized celebrities for their lack of real-world understanding and political insight. Ricky remains steadfast in his critique over the years. He advises to stick to entertainment, and as a comedian, he cleverly uses humor to highlight the flaws in woke culture.
You can get sued in this country for saying someone's gay if they're not, you know, which is a homophobic law, because you can't be sued the other way around. You can't be sued for saying someone's not gay if they are, which seems unfair, doesn't it?
Despite his bold comments and critical remarks about woke culture, Ricky often faces significant backlash, including the outrage sparked by some of his statements on his shows. Nevertheless, Ricky remains unaffected by the criticism.
Our show Supernature dropped on Netflix last year. Big backlash, wasn't there? Big backlash. People going, you can't say that. You can.
One controversy began when he dead-named the well-known transgender Caitlyn Jenner. The term dead-naming, used by the woke community, refers to the practice of calling someone by their gender before they transitioned, which is considered unacceptable. Watch how Ricky subtly expresses his strong opinions on this issue.
And I found out my crime was that I dead-named her. Now, I'd never heard that term, you know, before a day after the Golden Globes, and that was saying her old name and even acknowledging that she used to be a man. But she did. I saw it on the Olympic Games. It was decathlon, it was in everything. It was all over the place.
Ricky seems perplexed as he makes a joke about the situation. Woke individuals appear determined to erase an entire existence to elevate their beliefs. This is particularly absurd in this case, considering Bruce Jenner was known by that name for 58 years. Despite Caitlyn Jenner's emergence, Bruce Jenner's existence isn't entirely erased. What makes Ricky particularly intriguing is his skillful use of sarcasm to criticize woke culture and highlight its flaws. In this instance, he criticized woke individuals for their virtue signaling.
Yeah, I'm not a fascist. It's an odd thing to just declare, isn't it, that you're not a fascist? We assume, don't we? You wouldn't go up to someone on the street and do that, would you? And go say, oh, by the way, I'm not a fascist. You know, it's like they protest too much.
Woke individuals often present themselves as champions of minorities, using this stance as a justification for virtue signaling. In reality, it seems minorities are exploited by these individuals to enhance the perceived superiority of their opinions. The situation worsens when anyone challenges these views. They are quickly silenced and insulted by woke advocates. This kind of reaction, where dissent is met with offense and aggression, is something Ricky despises intensely.
Well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you? So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world.
If you're curious about how extreme woke people have become in their sensitivity to others' issues, Ricky provides an intriguing example in this story.
I once tweeted, right, I've put on 7 pounds and a picture of me with a big belly. Do your worst. Insult me, right? People said, you shouldn't fat shame. What, me? I shouldn't fat shame me. Well, okay, my bad. Yeah. It's ludicrous what people get upset about.
In choosing when to get upset and what to get upset by, Ricky describes woke people as completely ludicrous. He's in utter disbelief at the fact that it's almost as if they search and sniff around for anything that could offend them so they can voice their outrage. However, Ricky has more to say about this subject.
Who will go online and leave a comment? That is like, you might as well go and read toilet walls to get upset about them. I have never been upset by anyone on Twitter. No one has ever upset. They don't exist. It's like me. Honestly, they think I'm too happy.
Consider this for a moment. Ricky claims he doesn't get offended by comments on Twitter. Does this suggest that the woke individuals who are constantly offended are unhappy and therefore feel compelled to react angrily to everything? Among all the subtle critiques Ricky has made about woke people and woke culture, this particular point stands out significantly.
There are real things in the world you should be offended. You're more offended. I once tweeted, people are more offended by jokes about war, famine, fucking murder than actual war. They're not doing anything towards those things. They shouldn't joke about it. What are you doing towards the real thing?
The question Ricky poses directly challenges woke individuals, yet it remains unanswered. Essentially, Ricky argues that woke people only feign concern for societal issues by being offended. If they were genuinely concerned, they would take meaningful actions, such as donating to war victims, rather than just criticizing others' comments. Furthermore, Ricky, while criticizing and setting standards for what is acceptable, also voices concern about the release of woke publications. He believes it's important for comedians to focus on their craft.
Oxbridge comedians writing for the posh papers, telling the rules of comedy. They're laying down the law, right? And it's all stuff like, comedy should punch up. You should never punch down.
Comedians have traditionally enjoyed freedom in their jokes, but with the rise of woke culture, people now impose their views on how comedy should be performed. It's clear from Ricky's reaction that he dislikes this intrusion. Observe how he effectively challenges those who attempt to regulate comedy.
Sometimes you've got to punch down, like if you're beating up a disabled toddler. You know what I mean? If you punch up, you'll miss the little cunt and he'll win, you know?
It might seem amusing and appear to be just a joke, but Ricky isn't finished yet.
I like that joke because it highlights the difference between metaphorical punching down in jokes and actual punching down. But people nowadays want you to believe that words are actual violence, right? Now, you laughed at a joke about beating up a disabled toddler. No one got hurt. If I'd have actually dragged out a disabled toddler and started beating him up, you would laugh, right?
In a clever joke, Ricky criticizes woke individuals again, emphasizing that committing a bad act shouldn't be equated with merely discussing a bad act. This echoes his earlier point that feeling offended doesn't necessarily make one right. Ricky argues that woke people consider jokes about sensitive topics as actual violence, and he firmly rejects this notion. However, Ricky isn't alone in Hollywood in believing that woke culture has gone too far. Rob Schneider, another Hollywood star, expressed his dismay over a recent woke trend in schools.
The CEO of United Airlines last month, he announced of all the hiring for all the new pilots that are coming up this year, the main focus is going to be diversity. I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of flying all the time with these white pilots landing safely and on time.
This troubling trend follows the woke culture's crackdown on others' rights to voice dissent. If such policies are implemented in schools, it means they are conditioning the younger generation to remain silent. Ricky seizes every chance to call them out, but you don't need to rely solely on my perspective. Observe Steve Carell's response.
You probably know me as the creator of The Office. No, you don't, do you? You think Steve Carell did it all? Oh, he's brilliant, isn't he, Steve Carell? He's amazing as the bumbling office manager. Where does he get his ideas from? Let's pay.
It's difficult to believe that Steve was just joking given that non-verbal threat. Essentially, Ricky opposes the way woke individuals relentlessly impose their ideas, beliefs, and passions on others. He views this behavior as arrogant.
How arrogant are you to think that you deserve to go through life with no one ever saying anything that you don't agree with or like? I want people to stop saying that joke's offensive. Yeah. I want them to start saying I found it offensive, because you've got to own the emotion, because that's all it is. You're just telling me how you feel about it.
Once more, this speech underscores that Ricky isn't fundamentally opposed to woke people being offended. His concern is that they tend to escalate their personal grievances into larger, generalized issues. In addition to this, Ricky had even more forceful criticisms for the woke community.
You don't have to pave the jungle. Yeah. You can just grow a pair and have a laugh about it. Yeah, but you shouldn't hurt people's feelings. Well, you can if their feelings are wrong.
If you don't like the facts, Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
change the facts, change the feelings,
Yeah.
you know?
This is another instance of the facts versus feelings debate, which has persisted since woke culture became popular. Ricky holds the view that comedy shouldn't be taken seriously. He believes that woke individuals should ease up on their sensitivity and learn to laugh at themselves. His stance was unmistakably clear at the start of his 2020 Golden Globes monologue.
Let's go out with a bang. Let's have a laugh at your expense, shall we? Remember, they're just jokes. We're all gonna die soon, and there's no sequel.
Is Ricky spot on with his views, or is he crossing the line? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. The upcoming video is even more provocative.